James Blanton, 33rd Division, B Company, 130th. The event host, yes.
My name is Sandy Faulkner and I'm a member of the Great Lakes Waves unit.
My name is Robert Leinweber. Most people know me as Dima. I'm a member of the 9th Soviet Airborne Brigade, VDV, HRS.
I want to know what ammo is in
Polly Norman. I'm the unit commander with the Great Lake Waves with the HRS. We did this event previously in 2010 and 2011. We had 288 registered when I closed Eventbrite. I was told we have about 177 here with us now, so that's a great turnout.
Eternal Father, this morning we gathered to praise you for this glorious day. Thank you for these men and women who have gathered here this weekend to reenact and to commemorate the events of years past. Continue to watch over us as we act out those moments in history that shaped our world. Keep us all safe from harm today. Especially, Father, we pray for the eternal rest of all those who have died in the past to assure us of the future that we have today. And we ask you, through your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
Here at the event for Remembering World War II Days in Danville.
We wanted to thank everybody for coming out to the event. Public's going to be here in about 20-30 minutes, hopefully. There's quite a bit of advertising done for this event. The folks that are hosting this at the 33rd, they have put a lot of their own money into this event to supply things like firewood, advertising for this event.
Everything has basically been funded with mine and Jim's own money. We've had some donations from the VFW Post 630 in Urbana. They donated the golf cart to haul the veterans and the handicap around. We've received a couple donations from some reenactors that want to remain anonymous to pay for the porta pots and the firewood and to help offset the costs that we have for the event.
They've put their heart and souls into this because they really want this to succeed, so we can have an event down in Southern Illinois that's a little bit closer to them, so they don't have to drive 5 or 6 hours to stuff that we always host. There's radio, there's TV, newspaper ads for this event, so hopefully we'll get some good public today.
A lot of the grandfathers, great-grandfathers served in World War II, and like Robert said, it's all hands-on. They can see the stuff, you know, firsthand. And most of the stuff we have is original. Some stuff is reproductions, but original stuff is still out there and ready, you know, you can find it.
For people who want to participate in the town scenarios, Wayne McCauley for the 9th ID is the person that you want to fall in with and talk to him. For the main battles, at 2 o'clock, we're going to meet on the battlefield, 2 o'clock, 2:05, to do a walkthrough so everybody knows what the plan is. And if you can, send your NCO or your officer over there and we'll find a slot for you guys so everything falls into place. There's going to be multiple phases, so just to avoid confusion, we just want everybody there so they know what their cue is and when they're supposed to come in and what they're supposed to do.
We are really ecstatic about the turnout that we've had for this event. We really hope it grows in the future. We have reenactors here for as far 5 or 6 hours driving. We have a good number of Jeeps and some other military equipment here, so that's always great to see. We'd love to have some armor next year. We just really appreciate everything everyone's done, and we hope that next year is bigger and better than ever.
Those with vehicles, use common sense. There's a lot of trails, and originally a lot of people came out so we could drive the trails. A lot of them were inundated, so don't make a mess of things. We'd like to come back. It is a public park. We're going to have people driving through here all day long because there's boat launches and that another half mile to a mile down the road. We encourage you to take a look at the park. It's 3,000 acres. It's kind of an open canvas. There's a lot of ability for us to do things here, not just this event, but maybe things in the future, even tacticals.
We're hoping to take this facility, which is a 3,000 acre park, and allow reenactors a chance to showcase the various impressions that they have, and really start building on this and make it one of the premier events in the region.
If you have any questions, a beef, a problem, just find either Jim Blanton, Dave Fernell at the 353rd camp. Check with registration. Polly Blanton. There's probably 2 or 3 others here. Somebody on the radio, it looks like they know what they're doing, and we'll work it out.
I'm helping out with some of the basic logistics around the event, organizing battle, just general pickup areas where other people need help.
There's a USO dance starting at 7 o'clock tonight here at the barn, and I think that's it. Thank you very much for coming. You guys have a good event.
Formation! Dismissed!
Airborne! Squad! At ease! Squad! Dismissed!
My name is Sandy Faulkner, and I am from Racine, Wisconsin. I'm here today with my 2 daughters, who are 12 and 15. We got involved in reenacting when my ex-husband was involved. He left the hobby, but the 3 of us stayed involved. The little one's been involved in reenacting since she was about 2. She'd follow people around our home and say, "Look but don't touch, look but don't touch," because that's always what she was told. They've done a variety of different impressions, Girl Scout, collecting metal for the war effort, and different types of things, talking about victory gardens and those things. I have impressions in Navy, Army, Army Nurse Corps, Red Cross, and WASP, so it's been an all-around hobby for the entire family.
Because of the interstate access and general location of the region, makes it pretty easy to get here. And with the surroundings that we have with period buildings, as well as other natural settings with woods and open fields, as well as a hard road network, really lends itself as a reenacting venue. So we're hoping with everyone's efforts and support that we can put together a very quality event that people will enjoy, that the public will enjoy, and help further in remembering those that gave the ultimate sacrifice for World War II.
Okay. It's Polly, P-O-L-L-Y, Blanton, B-L-A-N-T-O-N.
Okay, and what's your role?
I'm the event host.
Attention in the camp, attention in the park. Attention in the camp, attention in the park. There will be a V for Victory hair demonstration in the barber shop on Main Street.
Can you talk about what this is? Just give us an overview.
V for Victory hair demonstration in the barber shop on Main Street.
Referred to as a World War II reenactment, which has people on site portraying the troops, both in the front lines as well as the home front, portraying the various countries that took part in World War II. Vehicles, static displays, as well as battles take place out here, and we basically try and give the public an opportunity to see up close what it was like during the late 1930s on through the 1940s during the World War II period.
What we have here is a 1943 Harley-Davidson, manufactured probably in mid-October. It's been fully restored. 750cc engine, 45 cubic inch. Top speed about 65 miles an hour. Weight about 600 pounds. They were mainly used for, in the beginning, reconnaissance and scouting, but that was replaced by the Jeep because it was more effective, so it was relegated to dispatch riding, convoy escorts, and dignitary escorts. Mainly used behind the lines, unlike the Germans where they were actually fighting vehicles. Very rarely were they fit with sidecars because having only a 750cc's, it wasn't powerful enough, and they found that they were underpowered and breaking frames. So it was relegated to secondary use, mainly replaced by the Jeep being more effective.
Why do you think that's important to do, to show that to people, let people experience it?
I think it's very important to honor our veterans. They are known as the greatest generation. They are dying at a pretty fast rate. They're getting up there in age, and we do it to honor the veterans.
There was just a great deal of sacrifice that was took place both, like I said, by the frontline soldiers as well as the home front. People back then sacrificed a lot as far as rationing and things that were going on. So it was a very pivotal time in history and had a great influence on what is even taking place today. So it's very, very important that we help folks remember that it's something that's just not lost to history.
I portray a surgeon from a battalion aid station of the 48th Medical Battalion. Essentially what we would have been is a frontline hospital, field hospital. All the wounded would have come off the battlefield and gone to us, and then we would have either performed surgery or sent them on to the main hospital. So as you can see, this is what a battalion aid station would have looked like with all the surgical tools and bandages, personal items, office supplies, because we would document the wounded that came through. Usually there would have been about 15 guys at a battalion aid station. There was 2 officers, 3 NCOs, and then 12 litter bearers that would go out and bring the wounded back. So it's an expensive impression, but it's a very rare impression as well. So.
And that's where kids nowadays, kids for the past decades have learned about World War II, just through the history books and just through reading and maybe seeing movies about it. But being able to come out here and experience this, what kind of difference does that make?
Being out here, at least from the military aspect that I can talk about, is when you have tangible items that they can walk up to, they can smell, see, touch. When you have the tangible portion of it, it tends to be something that people remember and has more of an impact on them. So allowing them to come into these camps and look at the vehicles and touch and get explanations about the type of food that the soldiers ate, the type of living conditions, the equipment that was utilized during the war, that goes so much farther than any movie, video, or history book can convey to them then and hopefully that will then spur them on to learn more about that time period.
Mine's a 42 WLA. It's unrestored. I'm the second civilian owner of the motorcycle. It's pretty much as you see, it's the way I purchased it. So there's some small parts that I've had to replace because of age or wear and tear on it. It's just tires and the seat and the canvas for the windshield. When I purchased the bike, the veteran, he didn't throw away anything. I have the entire tool roll that was issued with this motorcycle, the original grease gun, the spare parts roll. I have the original manuals, everything with the bike. Pretty much a really good find for a reenactor and a military vehicle collector.
What kind of difference do you think when these kids leave here and they experience this, do you think they have a better understanding, better appreciation for what their ancestors gave during the war?
I would hope so, and I definitely would think so, because you can't beat it. I mean, with human beings and being exposed to such items, I mean, you speak from the fact of how cool is it, you get to be around military vehicles and the equipment here, and that does have more than just looking at a page on a photograph or watching a movie. And the more that we can expose them to these type of scenarios and exhibits, museums are great. But once again, you're kind of limited to looking maybe to a glass case or just a static display. Whereas here, you have people you can talk to that have done quite a bit of research about the various aspects that they portray, and can probably give you information that's going to be far and above what you would see either in a museum or would read in a book.
How about you as a reenactor, being able to do this and come out here and you have researched it, and now you're kind of living that role for a day? What is that like for you?
For me, it kind of gives me a chance to, live out that fantasy of wow, the World War II soldier, and in my particular case, a Russian soldier. But it's also a chance to take what I've learned from reading books and personal memoirs and accounts from the soldiers, and kind of put it into practice and see if they wrote in a letter that they did a particular act, could you really do that? And you get to live that out and relive it and see if it works. So for me, and in fact, reenactors is what got me into doing this. In my 8th grade history class, my teacher had reenactors come in and talk about the Civil War, and that's what started me on the path. And you then find out that there's all different time periods that are being recreated, and right now World War II is one of the largest segments that's most popular, and it's just a way to live out those fantasies, learn about what you've read, experience it, and then hopefully convey this same love and passion on to other people that may not realize that they can come out and do this. This isn't an exclusive club. Anyone can come out and do this, and the more people that we can get out here to carry on this tradition means the longer that this history will live on, and that we can pay some sort of payback that we can give to the veterans and the civilians, that the greatest generation that went through this, and make sure they're never forgotten.
You could probably do a book up just on everything in that bag. Check really nice detailed shots of guys that buy it, just like if you haven't already done it.
Well, the Harley Museum's already done it.
Oh, have they?
The guy, when he was taking pictures, it looks like hell with all the rust and everything. He's pulling each piece out.
He knows what it's worth.
Yeah, he's the one who told me. He says, if you want to sell it, here's what we get for it.
Yeah.
And I said, it's not for sale. You don't understand.
And so how long has this been going on?
We did this in 2010 and 2011, and we did it in August. We didn't have a very good turnout. It was, just kind of a whim. We had a large event that was canceled for this weekend in May, so we jumped on it. There's around 180 of us here this year. So we've had a great turnout. The public's been fantastic. Kennekuk, Susan and Ken have been great to work with. The park has just been wonderful. We're on 3,100 acres here. It's a gorgeous facility.
So is this the largest scale reenactment that you've done so far?
That we have hosted here in Central Illinois, in the Danville area, yes, for World War II.
So where are you based out of? Are you all from Central Illinois, or do people come in?
No, we have people from Wisconsin, Tennessee. I'm from Westville. He's from Easton, so we're pretty local here. But they do travel hours to get to these events. Their own money, you know, they all own their own vehicles. The military vehicles are privately owned. So it's a passion. It's a passion for these guys.
And can you explain that passion? I mean, you work with the reenactors, you talk to them, you try to get them to come here. What kind of passion do they have?
They have great passion. My grandfather's a local 33rd Division, and that's the unit my husband portrays. We have a military Harley and a military Jeep, and they love it. It's great to let people see the history, you know, the local units, the Allied, you know, access. It's fantastic.
If people haven't come out and experienced something like this, what would you tell them?
To come, to relive history. I mean, this is the closest World War II you're going to see.
And also we encourage the veterans to come out as well, because for us as reenactors, we're hungry for information. Anything that the veterans can pass on to us helps us to convey or portray a much more accurate portrayal of, you know, what's out here. And, you know, what better way to find out than to talk to the actual men and women who were there. So by all means, any and all veterans out there, and they don't have to be military veterans, people from the home front. You have to remember, women were working in the factories, and everyone did their part. So we're wanting to learn about the information and things that happen, not only in the combat zones, but here back in the States.
What have you learned from veterans so far that you can talk about?
It's amazing stories of you know, not only the combat situations of dealing with life and death on the front line, but you know, just camaraderie and how you deal with the fact that you're far from home, your loved ones, you don't know if you're going to make it back, and the things that you do to, you know, occupy your time, recreational items and things like that. And same way with the home front, you find out the sacrifices, what people had to do for rationing, what factories where they work, what items they produce, you know, simple items. It's not the glory, you know, it may not be the glorious things of, oh, I made tanks or whatever, but even simple things as far as shoes. I got to interview a lady once, she worked in a shoe factory. Combat boots are just as important as any rifle or bullet, so for having those people come out, be with us, talk to them,
how often do you get to do this, something like this?
As often as we can.
And really, you can almost go just about every weekend somewhere in the United States. It depends on how far you want to travel. But really, year-round, even in the wintertime. Now, granted, a lot of the wintertime reenactments are more of what they refer to as a tactical, which is more of a capture the flag type of thing, where reenactors go out and try and practice their tactics. But during the warmer months and good weather, just about every weekend you could find an event somewhere in the United States to take part.
About the battle part, when you actually meet the battle, what is that like? Is it all predetermined, or are you out there actually?
Yes and no. There are certain aspects that are predetermined, positions of troops, and part of that's for safety reasons, because when you're dealing with vehicles, and the weapons we're using are real weapons, okay? We're not using live ammunition, but however, these are still real firearms. These are still real vehicles that if something were to go wrong, someone would get run over. So a lot of this is what we refer to as being scripted, and that's primarily for safety purposes. But also, we want to try and convey to the public some aspect of what you would see out there with maneuvering, and of course, you can only go so far because we're not, using live ammunition, thankfully. But for us to be out there, the smell of the gunpowder, the sounds of the equipment moving, kind of gives you the best idea that you could possibly get under these circumstances. And for the public, once again, it gives them kind of a demonstration of how the vehicles would operate, how men would maneuver. So for those of us on the battlefield, short of being in the real combat situation, this is as close as you're going to get.
Is there anything else either of you would like to add?
I would just like to thank Kennekuk and all the reenactors, the public, the veterans. Thanks everybody for the support, and we hope to see you again next year.